Welcome to ARM Mobile. This is a brief introduction of how to get started utilizing ARM Mobile. I'm going to first open up a trial, review that trial. First thing I'll review is I have some standard evaluations that are already created. I have some assessment columns, one with data, others without. I want to send the assessment columns that are planned for this trial to my ARM mobile device so I can take notes in the field. I go up to the Connect Electronic Data Collector button, click on that. Step 1, I want to push this trial to the electronic data collector. I want to use the ARM mobile app. I'm going to choose the cloud folder of my choice. So I'm going to browse, utilize Dropbox. ARM will automatically create one folder named ARM Mobile with 3 subfolders. I need to ensure that I have my lists prepared for the ARM Mobile. There are 4 lists required, these first 4. If I do not have anything in my list, it will have a red color and the progress bar will be red. It is required to have information in this list or in the top 4 lists. I can then enter in information within this list and edit it as needed, so that way I can then progress to the ARM Mobile. Click OK, click Next. I have successfully sent the information needed for ARM Mobile to the Dropbox Cloud folder. I can then send other trials along too as a batch. So step 1 is to push, step 2 is ARM Mobile app. When I click Next, it will bring me to a study list. I can then select other trials I would like to send. And the information is now pushed to the Dropbox Cloud folder to be used in ARM Mobile. That concludes the ARM portion. I have entered in the website needed to download the ARM Mobile app. At this time, I do need internet connection. I will select the cloud folder of my choice, which I'm choosing Dropbox. I'll then choose my distance calculation, click the Next button. I then need to import some base information. I click on the Import button. ARM needed to connect to Dropbox. I then go to the ARM Dropbox folder of ARM Mobile. I open that up. I need to bring in my base information. Information was brought in successfully. I need to select a folder to export the completed assessments. ARM needs this information to be in the trial assessment folder, which was created by ARM. I click Next. I need to choose who is going to be taking notes on this device. That would be me. Click Done. I then need to import some trials to take notes on. Those are in the trial definition folder. I can then bring in all of the trials that I would like to work on at this time. The trials were imported successfully. At this time, I no longer need an internet connection. All of the data and information is stored locally on my device. I can then work and take notes as I wish. I have imported the trials. I now need to select what trial I want to work in or trials. I'm going to choose both. I then need to decide what assessments I would like to do within each trial. So I clicked on the Neighbor KDK Breck trial. I'm going to choose the assessments. These assessments that are listed are the assessment columns available within the assessment data editor within ARM. I'm going to click the back button, the back arrow button, and close. I am now going to set up for the Neighbor MRE key trial, set up those assessments. If I would like, I can choose an SE by clicking on the plus button and use the standard evaluation. And I can choose one of the assessments planned for this trial. Going to click the back button, the arrow back, and go ahead and click close. Click the back button again. I can now enter the assessments. I would be at plot number 101 in the Neighbor KDK Breck trial. I can then enter in the value for that plot. For the count cars, I entered 2. For the yard rating, I gave it a 3. If I would like these to be default values moving forward, I can click on the half circle arrow to the right. This will then set this as a default value moving forward. I'm going to not show this message again and confirm. This does not mean that all plots now have an entered value. ARM Mobile specifically displays that value, and through the use of the Advance with Default Values button, will then accept those values. If I believe my yard rating will be primarily a 3, I can also click on that half circle and set that as a default. To advance, I need to click on the little right arrow to advance forward. Now, the Advance with Defaults button selected is green and is available to use. In plot 102, I now have default values of 2 and 3. If I am okay with these values, I can click on the box with a double right arrow, and it will now accept those values as real. This just states that the action navigates you to the next plot and confirms all unmodified defaults for this plot. I'm not going to show that again and confirm. I can then go ahead and take notes as I wish. Advancing. This screen allows for the user or the researcher to enter information about the assessment column or about the crop and pest within that assessment column. Also assigns the date of when the assessment occurred. Since I took 2 assessments for this trial, I would click the next assessment button. I can then also describe the information about the crop and pest and other information that would be in the assessment data header. I can then advance to the next trial, and this one I can then go ahead and enter values. At the end of this trial, I also have the opportunity to describe pests and crops, and I'm going to advance with done. I now have completed notes for 2 trials and a total of 3 assessments. I can look at my completion dashboard of the trials and assessments that I have performed. And as you can see, I have completed them successfully. I'm going to click the back button. I'm going to export these assessments. At this time, I would now need an internet connection. I am satisfied with all 3 assessments I would like to send. I click the export button. I confirm that I am exporting those. They have been exported successfully. I will now move to the ARM screen. In order to bring in the data from the ARM mobile device, I had to first export it to the Dropbox folder. ARM knows that that information exists in the Dropbox folder. To bring that data into ARM, I simply need to click on the trial. ARM knows the connection and will automatically find the assessments that are sitting in the Dropbox folder or the cloud folder. It will bring those in and bring the data in automatically. This trial, we had taken 2 columns of data. As you can see, we counted cars and a yard rating. We did that on this day, and this is the values that were sent through.